Good morning, this is Kim, and I want to talk with you about retirement plans. These are very important, and some of you may say to yourself, wow, I'm really young. I don't really need to think about starting a retirement plan. And what I would say to you is, hey, if you started a retirement plan now and practiced discipline and kept contributing to a retirement plan throughout your working years, by the time you reach retirement, you could very well be set up in a really good position. Again, our ultimate goal in this class is not only to learn all these different things, but also financial peace of mind. So, really, the time to start a retirement plan is now. Now, and I want you to hear me through what I'm going to talk about, and then I want you to make a judgment call for yourself. So, in addition to the video I'm making right now, you also have some other resources. Of course, your book and Investopedia will be a good source for you to look up some of the material that I'm asking you to find. And then finally, there's some videos out there for more reinforcement, just another person talking with you about different type of retirement options. I want to back up and say at this point, on your track to developing your financial plan, we started out by talking about safe places for money. And I want to revisit that just for a second here. Safe places for money. We were talking about savings accounts and CDs and T-bills, etc. And I think ultimately what we ended up finding is that these virtual savings banks, banks that don't have a physical presence in strip malls or all over the city, offer significantly higher rates than your traditional bank. It's really a phenomenal increase in rates. So, for example, if you're banking at Bank of America and you might be getting 30 cents on $1,000 that's put in the account per year, and then you can put that same amount of money in a virtual bank and earn 10 or $11, you have to look at that. I mean, you may think, oh, 10 or $11 isn't a lot of money, but me personally, I feel very differently about that. Again, I keep my money in a virtual bank for that reason. It's a better interest rate. I'm not going to settle for cents on the dollar or even less than that. So I want you to consider that. So, safe places for money was the first part. That was the launch into you understanding that you needed an emergency fund. You need an emergency fund because stuff happens again in our life that we don't think about. You know, a birthday, you're in a wedding, you need to travel somewhere, and then you need extra money. And we want to be able to go to that emergency fund and use that money and then continually put money away as we use it. After that, we moved into bonds and stocks. And again, these are the beginning of investment instruments. Bonds being a loan you make to companies or the federal government, and again, stocks would be an equity position in a company. And I can't remember if I told you in a video, but I'm going to tell you now that you can get started in investing in stocks and bonds for as little as $25 a month through exchange traded funds. So, exchange traded funds are your area to think about investing, particularly if you're going to use retirement plans specifically labeled IRA, Individual Retirement Account. We moved on, again, talk about mutual funds also. And mutual funds, again, are going to be critical that you understand because when you go to work, you work for a company, and the company offers you a retirement plan. That plan is going to consist of a list of mutual funds, a list. You're going to receive this list, and you because you know how to evaluate mutual funds, will take that list, look at the mutual fund that best suits you. Maybe it's large cap, large company mutual funds. You can go directly to Morningstar, look up how that fund is performed and rated, and make some educated decisions about how to invest your money. Okay, so now we've done all that. We're ready to talk about accounts. What type of accounts are you going to use to become an active saver, investor, and to achieve your goals. So what I've done here, which I think is very important, is I've made a worksheet and it includes all the different types of retirement accounts that will be applicable to your life. And I want to go through some of this. I'm going to give you some of the direction that I think you need. I want you to know this. I don't want you to struggle with this. It's really a search and search, find, and then type the answers especially after you listen to the understanding. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to start here and I'm going to point out defined benefit. I'm just going to highlight these versus defined contribution because these can be, this is really the two different types of overarching accounts. So defined benefit is again a plan offered through a company, and it's also known as a pension plan. Pension plans long time ago used to be very popular, but not so much anymore. Instead, they're mostly reserved for federal government or state government jobs. They still offer a pension plan. And what it is, it's a retirement plan that's formula driven, and here's the formula. It's years of service, how long you've worked there, multiplied by an age factor, which the older you get, the higher the age factor is. And again, then finally multiplied by your final monthly salary. And based on the answer to this math equation, that is how much you will receive per month after you retire for the rest of your life. So that's in a nutshell, that's what a pension is. A lot of Not a lot, but some people enjoy working for the state of California and they belong to the pension CalPERS. I belong to CalSTRS, so that's California State Teachers Retirement Plan. And again, I'm going to receive this pension amount just based on how many years I've worked at CalPERS or worked teaching multiplied by my factor and my final monthly salary. So again, private companies not going to see this. You're going to see a different type of plan, which will be a DC or defined contribution plan. Now, Social Security is our nation's retirement plan, and I'm going to talk about this because as we work, we pay in through our paycheck, through our employer, an amount to Social Security. And the idea is that we pay this in now so that when we retire, when we become eligible, we can collect our Social Security income back. Normal retirement age for Social Security for most of you is going to be 66 or 67. That's a long time from now. But there are other options for Social Security. It is mandatory except for teachers. We can opt out of it and pay into CalSTRS. Anyway, that's Social Security. We are all paying into it. And I want to point out right here, you can do this. I'd like you to. If you have been working for a while, you can go to Social Security ssa.gov, create an account, and you can review your work record. I'd really like you to do this. Now, if you haven't had a job, then you're not going to have a work record. But if you've been working for a while, then you certainly do. And you can see how much you paid into Social Security. And, we can talk about it. It's a pretty cool thing. I've put this on your final financial plan, and I'd really like you to go and check this out. Okay, so a defined contribution plan. Again, it's a company sponsored plan, and you and your company contribute to your retirement. So DC, contribution. You contribute, a lot of times your company contributes. So that's the difference. Again, this defined benefit, it's based on a formula. This company sponsored plan is really based on how much you want to put into your plan and maybe how much the company will offer you as a match, as part of a benefit for you paying in the plan. But before we do that, I want to talk about some terms. Here's a couple terms we need to know, and the first one is self-directed. Self-directed means that you select how you want your money invested. So you, in a self-directed account, you can decide if you want to buy bonds, you can buy individual stocks, you can buy mutual funds, you can buy ETFs. It's wide open. You pick how you want your money uh, directed. And that's kind of cool because you have a lot of options out there to pick from. If it's not self-directed, like for example, if we go to a DC plans, it's usually a list of mutual funds. So again, not self-directed. I'm also going to put on here that this is mostly IRA. Okay, DC plans are going to be the 401k, 403b, and 457, and they're going to be a list of mutual funds. And then you have to just pick among the mutual fund list. Now, these numbers right here, these are just tax code numbers. These are very, very similar plans. The 401k is usually a private company or public company. 403b and 457 are mostly government entities, not for profits. Okay, so the first type of DC company sponsored plan would be the 401k with a match. You notice you have a list of several of these to look up. So 401k with a match. What I'm asking you to do, again, it's a company sponsored plan. And what it is you contribute a monthly amount. You contribute an amount out of your paycheck, and then the company takes that money pre-tax out of your paycheck, and then it invests it in whatever mutual funds you have selected. So again, this is not IRA, so the types of investments are mutual funds. The annual amount is probably over 18,000 right now, but you're actually going to look up the uh, the new amount. This adjusts every year, so I'm not sure what the new amount is this year, except to say that it's probably over 18,000. Now, 18,000. That is how much you can put in a 401k per year. Well, some of you don't even come close to making 18,000, but you can still contribute any amount you want. So if you wanted to put in $20 a paycheck, you could do that. And that $20 will still be directly invested into mutual funds through your company sponsored plan. So the tax implications are this is tax deferred. So what does tax deferred mean? It means that you pay taxes when you withdraw this money. So we're not paying taxes on this now, so we're lowering our tax obligation to the federal government, and then we're putting money into this 401k, and we're earning money on it. So it's really, really a good thing to do. I mean, you saving in taxes, plus you're becoming an investor now, and you have money in this 401k account that is invested in mutual funds, and the mutual funds are hopefully making money, and sure, probably likely to do over time. So good, very good thing. Now I'll explain to you a match. Some of you will know what a match is, some of you will not. So a match is looks something like this. A company says that they'll match the dollar for dollar on 6% of your salary. Okay? That's the company match plan. It might be 50 cents on the dollar, it might be 25 cents on the dollar, up to 6% of salary. So let's say that you earn $10,000 per year. So 6% of $10,000 is what? 6% is $600. If you contribute out of you elect to contribute $600 a year, then the company will also contribute $600 a year. That is your match. Okay? That's the match, dollar for dollar, up to 6% of your salary. Well, that sounds great. You just earned $600 of free money that the company gave you. If you have a company plan that has a match, you should always contribute up to that match. If it's 4%, you contribute 4%, whatever it is. Because if you don't, you are effectively leaving free money on the table. And we don't want to do that. So check this out. Now at the end of the year, you have $1,200 in your account comprised of principal. You put in 600, company put in 600. Now your earning power is on $1,200. So now you're going to take that, maybe you earn 6 to 8% in the mutual funds you selected, and you have even more money. And then you continue to do this year over year. This is compounding, earning interest on our already earned interest, continue to receive free money. It is a great deal. Do not pass these up. So that's a match. Now the other types, the regular 401k without a match, 403b and 457. Again, types of investments, mutual funds, because these are company sponsored plans. The annual amount is still the over 18k, and the tax implications are tax deferred. The kicker here for these is no match. Still options, still tax deferred, still have hopefully great mutual fund options, and still can sock away up to $18,000 a year or up to $100 a year. It really doesn't matter. But they do not offer that match. So they're not nearly as sweet as the 401k with the match. Okay, now we're moving down to the individual account, IRA. Okay, these are not company sponsored. So you can do these as long as you have any kind of earned income, because a lot of us work for companies that don't offer a retirement plan. And we don't want to miss out on being able to grow our money tax advantaged. And here with this Roth IRA, there's some other significant benefits of having this, but our company doesn't offer it. So now, and even if your company offers a 401k plan, you can still be eligible to contribute to an IRA. And maybe you should. I'm a big proponent of this Roth IRA, especially for students, because of the flexibility that it offers for you, which I'm going to explain. Okay, so IRA, individual retirement account, Roth. Roth. Again, types of investments. This is wide open. Remember, it's self-directed, which means you decide. So you can go to mutual funds, you can go to ETFs, individual stocks, bonds, you can put it in a money market account, but who would do that with rates so low? The annual amount, sadly enough, this has been $5,500 for a while. So it's not nearly close to 18,000, but still, for most of you starting out, you probably won't even hit $5,500 a year. So this is a great place to start. Okay, now check out the tax implications of the Roth. When you open up a Roth IRA and you contribute your money, let's say you open one up at Vanguard, and so it's a Roth IRA brokerage account, and you contribute $25 then each pay period. So maybe you do $50 a month. Okay, then you take your $50 a month and you would buy into an exchange traded fund. Okay, now you're an investor. Now you own stocks. You have an equity position. The earnings that you make on this Roth, the earnings on your stock investments or your stock ETFs in terms of growth and dividends is tax free forever. So you pay into this with your after tax income like you're paying a bill. But once you pay the taxes up front, then any growth in this account is tax free forever. And there is not another retirement account like this. This is an exception. It's a great opportunity for young people, old people, everybody to save money in a tax free account. So think about it this way. Let's say you have a Roth IRA and you have your 401k, and now you retire. So you're 60 years old, you're retired. When you take money out of that 401k, it becomes taxable income. On your tax return, you throw it into your gross income and you pay taxes on it. When you take money out of that Roth IRA, never even hits your tax return. It is tax free forever. Great, great benefit. Also, for the Roth IRA, even though I still want you to look these up, the other benefits are that you can always withdraw the principal. So if you contributed $500 a year of your money, your after-tax money, you can take that money out tax-free, penalty-free if you need it for something. It's because you've already paid taxes on it going in, you can take it back out. That's another great feature of the Roth. So withdraw principal, I'd like to think that you'd only do that if you had to. Uh, the other one is you can take up to, I think it's 10K or more of earnings for your first home. And that's a cool benefit too, because now you can dip into the earnings and the principal and use this as a vehicle to save for your first home. Another thing I like to think about this is if you're contributing to an IRA, you can use this money, take it out to pay for perhaps future college that you might have, kids' college, etc. So when you do your homework, I want you to look up more about I really want you to focus on this Roth IRA. I want you to know everything about it, hopefully before you come meet with me, because this is your thing right here. Uh, if you have a company sponsored plan with a match, we're going to do that first because we never give up free money. And then the next thing we're going to look at is doing a Roth. So I want you to know these and understand them. Watch the con video, read it in your book, go to Investopedia, make sure you have this down. Okay, next we have a traditional IRA, and again, a traditional IRA is still it's on your own, so it's self it's self-directed. So I'll put down here self-directed. The annual amount is still the same, $5,500. Now remember, you can this is a max for any type of IRA. You can only do $5,500, so you can't have a Roth and a traditional. And tax implications here is this is tax deferred. For our purposes, this is tax deferred. So it's similar to a 401k in that you're going to contribute to this. You can take a deduction for it on your tax return. Remember, we had that IRA contribution line item way back in week 2 on taxes. So that's tax deferred, and then when you take it out at retirement, you will have to pay taxes on that money. Okay. Did I not spell that right? I don't know what I did. Okay, next. Again, you're responsible for filling these out completely. Next, we have the rollover IRA, and I'm not going to type this in here, but I'm just going to give you some overview. When you work for a company and you leave that company, which many of you will work at several different companies. Anyway, you've put your money, let's say, in a 401k at that company, and now you've left, and the company says, hey, I don't think we want you to stay in our retirement plan. So your options would be to roll over that money to another type of account. It's called a rollover IRA. Okay? And again, these are all IRAs. So it's a rollover IRA. And once you roll over the money, then you know that the types of investments are self-directed, you pick. The annual amount really doesn't apply here. This is just the amount of the rollover. And the tax implications, again, are still tax deferred. Okay, and then we have the spousal IRA. I'm going to spousal IRA. Again, you know this, you know this, you know this. And what this is so cool. This is for the non-working spouse. So if you remember, I told you that for the traditional and the Roth, you need to have earned income. So in order to contribute to these, you need to have a job. But you can be the non-working spouse. So let's say you're married and you're working and your spouse is staying home, or maybe your spouse is going to school full time. So that person, he or she, is not working, but they can still contribute to a Roth or to a traditional based on your you're the working spouse based on your work record. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't penalize someone for maybe staying home and raising kids or doing something else that is not earned income. And then we have the SEP. This is for self-employed persons. If you have a small business and you want to contribute, you can do it through a SEP. And then finally on here, again, very critical because a lot of you have children, we have college savings plans. The 529 is a very popular plan, and then the Coverdell, not as popular. And I want you to look those up. So for my three kids, I have a 529 plan for each one of them that I have been contributing to since they were the girls when they were born, and then my son very early on. And that's benefited me now because my girls just graduated from high school and I've been contributing to their accounts for 18 years. Now they have a nice amount of money that I can then pull from to pay for their education, because if I didn't do that, then I would have to come up with that money maybe from my emergency fund or somewhere else. And instead, I'm really glad I planned for them. It just means that I decided that I wanted to put that money away and not spend it now. So it was a choice that I made very early on, and now I'm benefiting from that choice. Again, life is about all kinds of financial choices, and I hope this class has opened your eyes to different options that you have available. Okay, that's 28 minutes. These are getting kind of long, so I hope that gives you a good start. And of course, your instructions would be to fill out the rest of this and really understand it. So thanks so much. Bye bye.